Hello, Bucs fans. We are live. We are back here at Real Bucs Talk. It is a Victory Monday, so very excited for that. Um, Hope everyone had a great weekend, and obviously the Buccaneers winning helps with that. Buccaneers are now 3-1. Got a big win over the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's have some fun tonight. Appreciate everyone joining us. Be sure to hit that like button, comment down below. Feel free to jump in the chat if you guys have anything you want to talk about specifically. Let us know. If anybody in the chat can let me know how I'm sounding. Hopefully, audio is good. Everything's coming in clean. So appreciate everyone here joining us. Joel Rican, appreciate you, young man. Thank you. It's awesome. Yes, go Bucks. It was a huge win yesterday. A lot of Eagles fans in the building. So yeah, it was great to get a victory, move to 3-1. All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Yes, go Bucks. Tall Florida guy. Hell yeah. Um, so if you are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I know content has been a little slow. We're trying to get more videos out to you guys, and obviously, give us, provide more thoughts and more insight for you. If there's anything you guys are looking for specifically, be sure to let us know in the chat or leave comments in the live stream. We're always trying to evolve and provide new content, but yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of this game? Obviously, the Bucks offense showed up quickly, showed up finally getting a touchdown on the opening drive since 2022, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, you look at this game, you look at the numbers here. Baker Mayfield again, really a nice bounce back game for everyone on the team. I thought for whatever reason, the Buccaneers just weren't focused against the Denver Broncos, and a lot of mistakes on all facets of the game. So that was definitely disappointing to see, against Denver. But Denver, won yesterday against the Jets, won 10-9. So you got to think they have a pretty good defense. They have a defense that is put together and obviously knows how to scheme pretty well. But again, no excuses. That was just a tough game for the Bucs, and they bounced back very nicely against Philadelphia, starting fast, getting the 24 nothing basically lead. Could have been 28 if our guy Cameron Johnson held on to that pass, which would have been awesome. But they found ways to jump ahead, and the game plan overall was fantastic. I thought utilizing the pass to set up the run, stuff we've talked about on this channel, stuff you guys probably heard among other, Buccaneer podcast or YouTube channels. Playing to your strengths and understanding what you have, I think, is the biggest thing coaching staffs fail to do at times consistently. And I'm really excited about Leon Cohen and how he adjusted so quickly early in the season, understanding, okay, this is what I have up front. This is who my quarterback is. My skill position players are still pretty good. Let me find a way to get the ball out of Baker's hands quickly, and also B, set up the running game in a more effective way. And I thought he did that yesterday. We saw good results. So yeah, really, really nice to see the Buccaneers play pretty much a complete game for the most part and get a nice victory as we head into, I guess you can say, division month per se, because we got 3 division games this month coming up in October. So going to be huge as far as just the stretch that is coming down over the next several weeks, because you have Atlanta twice. And you also have the Saints mixed in. You have Baltimore, Kansas City, and San Francisco coming up. So quite a stretch for the Buccaneers. They also started the season last year 3-1, but it feels different this year. I feel like the Bucs are a more complete team from coaching staff and down. Obviously, lots of injuries that they overcame, but you look at the numbers here. I mean, 30 of 47, 347 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then the rushing game again effective, running the ball with both backs. They have identical stat lines, but did just enough to be effective. You get over 100 yards rushing, which is really cool. And then you love to see this, just the balance of using your playmakers, whether it's Mike Evans getting the ball, Chris Godwin, K. Dotton, Sterling Shepard coming in and finding production. Trey Palmer had a very great, nice touchdown catch. It's unfortunate he got hurt with the concussion. So a lot of good signs from the offense. But let's get to the chat here. Just want to read some of these off. Brian Monero. I don't know. I probably mispronouncing that, but Brian, thank you so much for the comment. Yes, we do have the best fan coverage. I think across the league, we do have some really great podcasts and guys that really know what they're talking about and obviously offer great insight. So yes, couldn't agree more. Great day when we beat Philly. Hell yeah, yeah, it was a great win. And yeah, it's awesome. Also makes a good point about the run game. Yeah, we don't have a conventional run game, that's for sure. Use a short passing game. I think that's really what they adjusted to yesterday, getting the defense moving east and west and really tiring them out, utilizing what you have in your skill position players to the fullest. And I thought that was great for Baker Mayfield and company. Yeah, Justin School, I think, is fine. I think he is getting better with each rep. Hopefully, Luke Gedeke can be back this week for the Falcons game. If not, you're just hoping that, especially for the Saints game, having the extra rest after this week on the short week of practice, that we can get a lot of guys back for that game. But yeah, I mean, right now, I think he's doing a good job of just being good enough. And I think that's all you hope for when you look at the depth pieces and the backup players. So that's important for sure. Trying to, yeah, Trey, yeah, definitely need Trey Palmer back. Les Evans, good to see you. It was said that the Bucs running game by committee works well, as this game proved. What do you think? Yeah, I think getting more guys involved, but I think how they ran the football, how they set it up was very important. They used a lot more, gap scheme runs where they had guys moving and getting more downhill. I think they abandoned the conventional zone run game. So I thought that was very important. So yeah, I mean, I think it's should get better with time. That's going to be what we're looking for as we move forward. Rich, good to see you. Yes, hit that like button. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. We should have my co-host Mark joining us here shortly. But if you're just tuning in, be sure to do what Rich is talking about. Hit that like button. And welcome to the channel. Welcome to Real Bucs Talk here on a Monday night. We're actually live on the day that we usually go live, so that feels good. We're trying to get back to regular scheduling, but it's been just very hectic the last couple of months. Even going into the season, a lot of just being busy with our day jobs and just a lot of things that have been happening. Obviously, with this hurricane, a lot of stuff is going down. So, hope everyone had a really good, you know, day yesterday, especially with the Bucs winning. That always makes us, I think, feel better. It does for me for sure. So, obviously, that's awesome. Trying to again welcome everybody in. We have Mark here, so we'll get him on here. He's got his Jurassic Park shirt on. So yeah, it was definitely a Jurassic Park day because the Bucs were firing on all cylinders. They had Velociraptors on offense for sure. They were pulling it all out. So, Mark, welcome in. Uh, just talking with the good people here in the chat, but just get your thoughts on the big win yesterday. The Buccaneers are now 3-1 yet again.
Woo! There it is. It's as simple as that, right? Yeah, it was finally exciting football again. I think I said it in the last podcast that Liam Cohen is going to be pissed off, and I think rightfully so. We looked like trash the last game. They came out on fire. I didn't think we'd get the opening touchdown, which we did, which was phenomenal. Cool. Damn near could have scored what 4 times in a row if Cam Johnson catches that touchdown, which it should have been. So that would have been one hell of a 4 drives in a row to score. Yeah, I know the other one we got just based off of the muffed punt, which is rightfully so, but still, like it could have been a potential 4 touchdowns in a row. That's insane. And the big takeaway to me is just the screens were back, the short passes were back, finding Kate Otten was back, and then just being so multiple in the ways that they would attack. The motioning was back. It was just deliberate things that the way to attack a defense that you didn't see the game prior. And we mentioned a lot of Baker's happy feet and everything. He diagnosed a lot. I'll touch more on Baker later, but there was just so much good. It was across the board again, just like a night and day difference from the last game. And I think that was an eye opener. And short week, let's see what they do against the Falcons. But that was one hell of a good display, considering how it should have been since their 2 weapons for the Eagles were out. We should have taken advantage of defense, and offensively, we just took it to them.
Yep. Yeah, no, you're rightfully so. I mentioned earlier, on the stream that it was a great game plan from Liam Cohen. I loved how, and this is the biggest thing with coaching staffs and players. It's understanding who your personnel is and understanding how to maximize their talents. And I thought yesterday was a prime example of that. You know what works well for Baker Mayfield. You know how to maximize his ability, and I thought they did a great job of starting fast with getting targets to Mike Evans first play of the game, then rotating different options and routes off of that with the screens, the short passing game, the things over the middle of the field. So attacking all angles of the football field, I thought was important. But Baker starts the game 12 of 13. I think that is what you're looking for moving forward, getting him off to a hot start. Yes, there's a little lull there, especially in the second quarter. But after that, he did what was needed to win the game, move the chains enough, do the necessary complementary football things. But the big thing that I got from it was you use the passing game to set up your running game later. That is how good football teams win, especially in this league consistently. And I think that's what we've been preaching over the last several years of this podcast since it's been around. It's about using the right ways to go about attacking the defense. And I think finally we saw that yesterday, and it was really refreshing.
Yeah, we use this one as well. Use your strengths to hide your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Your biggest strength is all of your receivers, your passing game. Use that to open up, which is your glaring weakness, which is running the ball. If guys are having to work off of your play action fakes because they think you're going to get beat deep, so they don't bite in, yes, keep going to the well, right? And the short passes will be there because they're worried about the deep pass to Evans or a Palmer running down the damn middle of the field, or Kate Otten possibly in the middle of the field too. Like the only lull I think was either drop passes, inaccurate pass, which I have to touch on. Baker, yes, he had a hell of a game, 357 yards, I think it was. But still, yes, let's F and bake. But there were times where inaccurate passes, which could have been huge gainers, like he had threw one to Evans. Evans drops it, but still, if it was placed better, it's a touchdown or like at least a 30 to 40-yard gain. And I thought what's cool was Brady would grade each pass. He'd be like, "Oh, that was an average pass. That was a par pass," or "Oh, that was an A+ throw. You got to catch that." Like that. that's literally how he sees the game. And
Mhm.
yeah, there were times where Baker, the touchdown to Evans, back corner of the end zone, phenomenal on the first touchdown, great throw.
Yeah.
But it was just the inconsistency of being accurate, especially when you had time. That's where it's like, come on, guys. Like, if you want to get to that level and be consistent offense, you got to be clicking. And it's not like it was asking too much or throwing on the run. He's almost better on the run, which is nuts.
Mhm.
So that stuff needs to get cleared up. Kate Otten had a couple drops, which I didn't like, even though they're finding him more, which I do like in that. Uh, Irving had a drop on a screen, but there were so many different screens, close to
Mhm.
the end zone screens, midfield screens. Like, I love that he developed that in there. Yes, we're hiding our run game again with short passes, not just a screen, but short passes. Brady was kind of salty during the broadcast. I, I don't think he was salty. I took it as in, and they even asked Baker after the game too. Like, he was just saying that was the mentality he had. He came into work. He was dead ass serious. He wanted to win Super Bowls, and
Mhm.
it wasn't that Baker's just having fun nonstop. It's just that was the mentality he had. Baker's a little bit more happy-go-lucky when he deals with things. It's not like one's right, one's wrong. You can still win with both, but
Yeah.
that was what Brady had, and he knew how to push those buttons at the top of the every player. Right? He
Yeah.
expected excellence from everyone, and they expected it from him. So
Right.
you can't
And Brady's also, I think people forget like just how much of an age difference Brady is. Like, it comes to Tampa, how old was he? 42, 40, 43. So you look at that age difference, like
old
that,
noodle arm.
yeah. I mean, that plays a factor. And plus Brady's been doing it for so long before he even got to Tampa. So he already has a way in his mind. And they talk about, old dogs don't learn new tricks. Well, that's what Tom Brady's going off of. Like he has a way that he's already won with. He's won 6 Super Bowls before he got to us. So obviously he's going to keep doing that because it's working, and obviously it's shown to have success. So yeah, I don't look too much into that. Baker is his own guy, and I think he's having success because he's able to be who he is. He's able to be comfortable, and that was the beauty of yesterday. The game plan got him comfortable from the get-go. He was feeling good, confident. Obviously, he was, using that swagger that he has. It was nice to see on the touchdown run, like he's like, "Get off of me." And, obviously that's just him. And you hope this kind of game plan, this style of attack, not per se like the plays, but just the overall process I loved. And I hope that continues against Atlanta because you got to do the same thing. You got to start fast, you got to get ahead. And as we shift gears, I guess we can, just shift a little bit into the defense, how that plays a part for them. Todd Bowles is a magician when he has the lead because it allows him to play his style of football, and that's be aggressive and go after the quarterback. And obviously, they got 6 sacks yesterday, so that is a recipe for success.
And it does help having the monster in the middle, a
Right.
guy that's damn near unblockable, and Vita
Yeah.
Vea as well. And yes, like 6 sacks goes to it. And as the MVP of the team, Logan Hall got a sack as well.
He actually did something. Let's see. He shows up on the stat sheet. He got 3 tackles,
And
1 sack, and a tackle for loss. Oh my goodness.
a batted pass plus.
And a batted pass. I thought they called pass interference on him, and I was like, "What is happening?"
He was all over the field.
All over the field. But I mean, yeah, Vita Vea right here, you know, 3 tackles as well as sack. He had 2 tackles for loss, caused a lot of pressures. And you put that up on Twitter as well. But I thought again, the best man of the game, in my opinion, was Levante David. He was outstanding, and I think that game was kind of needed because I was talking to you off camera about the linebacker play. I thought it needed to pick it up, but obviously you see how much of a difference Vita Vea makes because he allows those linebackers to make more plays because he's in there.
No doubt. I
Yep.
mean, they had a strong focus to stop the run early. Whitehead was literally on the line at all times. Like,
Yeah.
what did he get? 6 tackles, 5
6. Yeah.
solo. He quietly gets stats. Like, unless he has one giant hit, he's normally so close to the line. He's just tacking in on some of these runs. So I mean, he's just always going to be a guy around the ball that won't get his, I guess how the youngins say, the flowers, uh,
Mhm.
because he just does his job. He's just not doing the pretty things like
Yeah.
Winfield can pick off passes, get sacks left and right. Whitehead just does everything he's supposed to do. But I just can't underestimate how good he is as a player.
Mhm.
Um, but overall, defensively, they just got sent in, right? I mean, there were blitzes
Yeah.
coming from every which way. Guys were getting free. Hurts is trying to run into some of our pressures too. So credit to, I guess, forcing him to go one way or just him just not reading it correctly. But
Right.
that's what Bowles does. He takes advantage of that. If you can't get to the outside, you're done. Uh, I mean, there were times where they did move the ball or he did get out of pocket, but overall, the defense did what they needed to do. And again, injury riddled and still putting up a good defensive performance like that, a goose egg in the fourth quarter to them.
Mhm.
Like yes, thank you. And then let's get some reinforcements back. If Winfield and Cansey come back next or this Thursday, that'd be freaking insane.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, obviously Thursday's a huge game. You start your division, games coming up, and you have obviously the Falcons, then you have the Saints, and then after Baltimore, you got the Falcons again. So basically, you have 3 division games here in the next 4. So obviously, huge weeks ahead, and that's going to be important. I think I'm pretty confident if hopefully we get some injury luck, but I have a good feeling that pretty much all the guys are going to be back for the Saints game because you have basically a mini bye here coming up. The only guy that looks like is going to be out long term now is probably Servassier Dennis. Looks like he's probably going to head to IR. Todd Bowles talked about him hurting his shoulder, so that's unfortunate because he was playing good football, especially on third down. So it'll be interesting to see what type of wrinkles they add there. Maybe we see Jordan Whitehead play some more money back a role. That would be fun to see. But um, yeah, I think the team is in a much better spot than it was last year. I thought 3-1 last year was a little bit of fool's gold because they really didn't find themselves until later on, especially in the later part of the year. Um, and I feel like this team is still trending upward, but also playing good enough to get, obviously the good wins here as they have out of the first 4 games. And you look at the opponents they've beaten, obviously Detroit, a tough win, beating a Washington team that is coming on strong. Jaden Daniels is completing 82% of his passes. So the guy has really found his own, and that's going to be a tough team to play down the stretch, especially when you look at the NFC East, which might not be that good, especially with the Cowboys and the Eagles kind of faltering. So interesting stuff there.
And they're not just winning; they're
Yep.
kind of beating the crap out of teams, and we're their only loss.
Yep.
That was the only game where Winfield did play. So is it because Winfield's that damn good to this defense? Yes, he is. But we haven't even seen what Kalijah Cansey is as well in this whole unit. And I know it's injuries kind of dictate how far you can go, but the next man up's really been working for us right now. Um, but yeah, I just want to see what Cansey can bring in the middle with a healthy Vita Vea and Yaya and JTS. They're actually getting pressure, guys. I mean, they're not giving like unstoppable, like holy crap, we need to double these guys all the time. But still, like if you can get Kalijah Cansey and Vita Vea in the middle wreaking havoc, the outside guys are just going to get singled easy. So
Yeah.
Vita Vea already shows you what his presence can do for the linebackers behind him. I can imagine if Kalijah Cansey's in there too, just wreaking havoc. And yes, Logan Hall breakout game. Let's see if we can do this 2 games in a row. That'll surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a perfect opportunity. A non-mobile quarterback. Uh, let's see. Let's
Yeah.
see.
let's not act like he was, something special out there. He made a few plays, but the rest of the tape was the usual Logan Hall, not that great. So, or even not that good, I should say. Anyway, but yeah, Kalijah Cansey coming back. Yeah, Kalijah Cansey coming back is going to be a huge benefit, obviously, and he was running full speed last week at practice, with the trainers. So hopefully he's getting in that football shape. Hopefully he can make, into the game Thursday night. That would be awesome just for the defensive, defensive players around him, I think would benefit, obviously, like you mentioned. Just having his presence out there will be a big thing. And hopefully, Antoine Winfield, I think, is close as well. So that would be great. To have a defense that is already very versatile become even more so. So obviously, yeah, we're hoping for the best. But right now, I think the main focus with this team is the offense scoring points. And when they can start fast and you can build leads like they did yesterday, that's going to put you in a much better situation moving forward for sure.
Yeah, and that's another area where I want to say, could this be another? I know how they said the Broncos game. It's a trap game because the Broncos aren't looked at as a good team. We're coming off a high. I'm not necessarily going to say it's a trap game, but look at the coaches. Like Sean Payton was the coach for the Broncos. He literally knows Bowles' scheme of defense. We really haven't won when we're playing Sean Payton, or Bowles really hasn't won. Besides that one playoff game that got us to the Super Bowl. But look at this again. What are we playing in the Falcons? Raheem Morris knows pretty much everything is going to go on the Rams offense. He has the Rams offense with his offensive coordinator. So Liam Cohen, who's going to have to be our guy that's going to lead us with this offense because our defense is still injury riddled. We got to find a way to move the ball, right? And an away game, will Raheem Morris know all the bells and whistles of what's going to be coming out of our offense? Let's see. I mean, people think it should be a certain way. I don't know. I mean, all I know is that if the Falcons didn't score one offensive touchdown yesterday,
Yeah.
they relied on every other facet of the game to win that game. And if our offense can show up like it did this week, like it did week one,
right?
Let's see. I mean, their defense isn't the Detroit Lions at all. I don't think they have the manpower that the Eagles have, but they are very well coached. That's the big difference. I mean, look at Todd Bowles, what he's been doing with what he has on his defensive line the past couple of weeks before Vivea came back. So,
yeah.
All right, it's going to be a difficult one. I don't think anyone's thinking we're going to landslide at all, as they shouldn't. It's a division game. It's always going to be tough, and they're very well coached.
Yeah, I think it's going to be obviously a very close game. I think a good opener for the division to start, and obviously a huge game to create some separation. You win this game, you move to 4-1. Obviously, you're sitting in a very good spot. But yeah, I mean, it's always tough to win on the road, especially division games on the road. That's a whole different story. So you really have to be sharp. It's going to be loud there Thursday night. There's going to be a lot of things going on, and you're beat up too. Like you're coming off a short week. They're coming off a short week. They just got a very emotional win. Obviously off their first division game, winning by 2 points on a 58-yard field goal. Is that what it was? Something like that.
No, they were saying he was 19 of 19 on 50-yard field goals.
Okay. But that was the game winner, right? He made a long field goal. Yeah. So, yeah. And that's how he beat us,
Yep.
A couple of years ago or last year?
It was
last year on a last-minute field goal? Yeah. So, and both of those games were very close. I think we won in Atlanta, by 6 points maybe, or it wasn't that much. But, yeah, it was very tough. Yeah, it was very tough. Comes down to the last quarter for sure. So we're just going to have to be prepared as best we can and be smart in how we attack. If we come out with yesterday's game plan, I like our chances because we're playing to what suits us well.
I don't think Raw has the manpower in that defensive line to
Yeah.
do anything of what the Eagles could have done, but he's very like Bowles and deceptive with how he brings in his rushers,
Yeah.
right? So that's one area where the Eagles don't really do that. They're like, oh, well, we have 4 down linemen, we're going to try and beat you that way and sit back and make you beat us with our coverage. Well, we have the weapons on the outside we can do anything with. So they were just outmatched. Raw is going to make it a little bit harder on us, guarantee it. Crowd noise is going to be part of it. But I mean, it's not going to be louder in Detroit. I can say that. And I mean, you're coming off of a productive game, get that momentum going, and you gotta find a way to start fast because I hate the fact that they're like, oh, when we don't start fast, we just can never get going. I hate that aspect of the Bucs, but it's what it is. But I did like seeing this from JC saying that Cansey will add to that. He's not sure about this game, but if Anton Winfield Jr. can go, he thinks he can. That would be huge. I mean, him taking over for Izzy, either way, Izzy's been playing a pretty good, reliable deep center. Yep. But adding, it's just a massive piece, a puzzle piece, and guy that can do it all. So it'd be fun to add that to our secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the young guys coming along nicely in the secondary. Tyke Smith getting more comfortable. Zay McCollum looking like CB1 out there. Really good stuff from them. And then you know what Jordan Whitehead brings, just consistent play. So the secondary is looking very strong right now, and I think it's going to hopefully continue to pick up. They have good matchups this week, obviously with Drake London and just the weapons that they present with Kyle Pitts, and you have Darnell Mooney. So got some weapons there at disposal for Atlanta that you have to be especially prepared for. And Eagles were shorthanded. They didn't have AJ Brown or Devontae Smith. So those are big losses for them. So just got to, continue to play smart, especially on defense with the aggression. Obviously, having the big boy up front and Vita Vea, that's going to make a big key. And I think Atlanta's down a couple offensive linemen as well. They are without their starting center. Maybe a guard as well. So they're injured. So are we. And it's going to be one of those games where whoever can, I think, get that quick start is definitely going to have the advantage for sure.
Yeah. So we're talking about how good the corners are playing. So I looked up like the snap count.
Yeah.
Zion and Jamel Dean played all 57 snaps on defense. Right. Like they didn't even come off the field once. And then no other cornerback played. So it was literally them and Tyke. That was it. Then Izzy kind of switched. And that's why I love Izzy being out there, how multiple he can be, playing that deep safety, coming in the box, switching over to a nickel corner, and having Tyke kind of move around, be a puzzle piece too. So if you bring even more of that with Winfield, holy hell, like how confusing you can be to an offense being like, oh, usually this one guy's deep. Why the hell is he down low? What's going on? Like, is he coming in a blitz and he just drops back again? It's a lot of madness. You can make a quarterback think is one thing, or a center saying, oh, wait a minute, Winfield's down low. He's probably going to come in a sack, and then he drops back, and then you have VDVL run over your ass. So it's very diverse, and that's why Bowles is one hell of a defensive coordinator. And why we are usually in games. And then if you have these guys that can perform at the high level, like a Cansey, like a Winfield Jr., healthy, get after it, boys. And it's just part of it. I can't believe those corners are playing that well. And Zay McCollum quietly, I mean, I know Pro Football Focus has him rated as like the top corner right now. And no one else is talking about him. That's about it. I don't really hear his name being called anywhere else, but he gave up the one touchdown, but it was literally like a broken play, and he just threw it to McCollum's back just as he turned.
Yeah, good point here by Rick Hughes. Good to see you here in the chat. Next two games, yeah, definitely will I think be a key factor. I don't know if it will let us know how special the season will be, but obviously it's going to be a big indicator of, what kind of um what kind of things do we have in store for the rest of the year, and division games are always so important. But again, it's still early. I think you have to you want to see continued progress. You don't want to see the team take a step back like it did against the Broncos. So hopefully what we saw yesterday as far as process and execution can even get better. And hopefully that leads to more consistency overall, especially from the offense, because like we talked about on this podcast, you got to be able to score points. You got to be able to move the ball, especially with the talent that you have on that side of the field. Um, it just has to be there, and I think you have the right play caller, the right mind in there calling the plays to help these guys out, and obviously you got the talent there. So now it's just about putting back-to-back weeks together.
I'm not going to necessarily think or not think or say that it's like special or not, but
Mm,
it's damn near almost we have to win these because the
yeah.
3 games after that are just as rough. Like Falcons on a short week, and then Saints 2 back-to-back division games. And then you get the Ravens at home. Okay, cool, but they're a hell of a good team, good running team, perennial playoff team, right? Falcons right back again, and then after that it's Chiefs and 49ers. So 4 games in a row right after that. This is like the heart of the schedule that's extremely hard. Everyone's like, "Oh, we're going to lose all of them." You heard before the season. Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
lost. Like this is it. So this is the time where you got to buckle down. There's no, oh, we're high, we're low, we're high. No, you got to stay consistent, knowing what caliber team you want to be and stay at that level. And that's where Baker gets his edge from, always being I guess the guy has to scratch and claw for everything, right? The walk
Mhm.
on from Texas Tech that walked on to Oklahoma. That was a first round pick to the Cleveland, yeah, but still had that chip on his shoulder. You got to keep that throughout. Like the guy from yesterday wasn't the same guy in Denver. Like and it's not just because things weren't going right. He wasn't getting in people's faces. He wasn't like yelling to expect the most out of your players like Brady did on the sidelines. If they were doing bad, he'd get pissed the fuck off and yell in your face and be like, no, we expect better from
Mhm.
that because you expect better from me. So that's the type of leader we need him to be at all times, not just be excited when things are good. Because I mean, that quicksand crap we saw last week,
Yeah.
real. And it happened to the Jets as well this week, where
Mhm.
Denver's defense showed up, win the game 10-9. Bo Nix threw for 60 yards, and they won a game. Nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but I'm right there with you. A lot of people, whether it's just local media around Buccaneers, they predicted like 4-6 to start the first half.
Right.
Um, and I'm like, well, you
Well,
gotta you gotta let the you gotta let the games play out first. And let's see. And I always say it's a week to week league. A lot of people expected us to lose the game yesterday against the Eagles, and I'm like, well, they didn't have AJ Brown or Devontae Smith, and that changes things. And we were still shorthanded, but guess where we weren't shorthanded, and that's the offense. And I was like, that's my biggest thing. Like if this offense is humming like it was yesterday, and you call the right plays, you have the good game plan in place, utilizing these guys to what they're good at. And I like G Vegas's comment here with Rashad White, Bucky Irving, like those guys were being used the right way. You're getting the good runs that have been working, like use more gap runs where you guys get movement, get guys pulling. Kate Otten, pushing guys out of the way, like he was blocking well. But yeah, just getting downhill and then catching the ball out of the backfield, I thought was awesome. And just hearing, we talked about Tom Brady earlier, but just hearing Tom Brady go, wow, 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 that that was the greatest. That was pretty awesome to hear about him just, getting so excited on that play. Yeah, I mean, that's what we have to see, the offense being consistent, finding ways to score in the red zone. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good game against Atlanta. But just going back to yesterday, passing the ball more often than not, I think that's the way to go.
Well, speaking of the running, let me just bring up the one that we put on Twitter.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. I mean, just check out. I also wanted to add in that there was pre-snap motion at all times. I felt in this game. You're going to see Auten move in motion pre-snap, so watch him as he goes. But a lot of the time, these guys are staying still because earlier in the game we kept moving motion, and they'd follow that guy, right? Because that's the eye candy is what we talk about all the time. They would keep following, and then the run would go the other way, right? The motion guy would move to the left, and the play would go to the right. So like shit, so we can't follow that guy. We have to stay and read our keys before we can actually move towards the ball. So as an offense, you know where the hell the ball should be going. What does Auten do? He knows exactly where he has to go. Watch what happens in number 3. Good night. Get out of the damn play. And then after that, Schooley doing some work on 53 over here. Godwin and Durham both missed. I thought this was huge. Irving gets through this. Mr. What, 5'9", 210, whatever he is, 5'7", he's short, down low and up high, and he gets through that. Stays balanced. That was a nasty run by Mr. Irving there. And I mean, that if we can keep doing stuff like that, he's been like a great rookie, not playing like a rookie at all. Like he's been doing all the right things besides the one drop screen pass. He's been lightning in a bottle for us lately, and I hope that continues.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and that's what we're talking about with Liam understanding how to adjust so quickly. He knew things weren't good enough against Denver. And like you said, he was pissed off. I think the whole team was pissed off with that performance. And it was good to see exactly what they're capable of. And they could have easily scored more points if the execution was throughout the game, especially some of the inaccuracies and the drop passes, like you talked about, especially the one in the end zone could have been 28-0 at one point. So yeah, there were so many opportunities, and it just shows you how good this offense can be when you have the OC and the offense on the same page, understanding, okay, this is how we're going to attack this team, and we're not going to stop until they find a way to beat us. And obviously it didn't happen yesterday, and that was great. And now you go up against a Atlanta Falcons team that I think has a good defense. Obviously, they've added a lot of pieces over there. You still have Grady Jarrett. You still have some other guys that are good, especially in the secondary with AJ Terrell. But it's going to be fun to see how we isolate certain players for their team and how do we attack, that especially throughout the game.
Yeah. Also, I want to click on this right here. Bucs fan from the Philippines. Love your channel too. Thank you for being part of the show. Philippines. Hell yeah. Like that's called a reach, bless. That's called the old intranet. It works pretty well, right?
Yeah, my old Spectrum must be working right now. So yeah, that's great, Mark Andrew. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the support. Good point here by Scotty J talking about Barton versus Jalen Carter. So yeah, I thought Barton took a step up yesterday. Kind of leveled up with his mental capacity as far as picking up stunts and picking up just being aware. He was a lot better yesterday, so that is really exciting, and hopefully that continues. But offensive line overall, I thought played very well. They did a lot of good things. Obviously, that was incorporated with the game plan, getting the ball out quicker, fast, with timing. Timing was the biggest thing. And even when Baker held onto the ball, I thought he did a good job of finding ways to escape the pocket and make plays when there. So, yeah, a lot of good things there. And hopefully can just continue to get better. But I appreciate everyone in here. Again, if you have any questions or something you want to talk about, let us know. Yeah, Gedeke, we're hoping can come back soon. Concussions suck. And yeah, they take longer than, you just never know. You never know with concussions.
Yeah, because I mean, Trey Palmer just got one too. So how long is that going to last, right? And talk about a guy that's playing phenomenal in his second year, and everyone's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, McMillan just going to run away with it." Trey Palmer had a hell of a game before he got hurt. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm not just saying because of that touchdown, which was phenomenal nonetheless, but he
Right.
was blocking like a madman as well. Like
Mhm.
Godwin had a big gainer on a screen where Paul, or was it a screen? No, it was a quick pass out of the backfield.
Mhm.
And then Palmer just kept blocking downfield. I think it was like a 15, 20-yard gain. But
Yep.
earlier in the season, Palmer didn't block fully. So he's learning from it. And he's just playing like a man with his head on fire. And I
Mhm.
love it.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And yeah, Byron, I appreciate you as well. Yeah, we love talking football. We love talking film. So that is always great to see. So yeah, Lucas, good to see you in here. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. It looks like Winfield might be a little bit closer than Kalijah Cansey, but Kalijah is getting to the point where he's on the verge of coming back. So hopefully it's Thursday. If it is, that's going to be awesome. That will be a big jolt to the Buccaneers defense. Either one, obviously, is a huge impact.
Whereas last year, what? He didn't come back till week 5, right? But this is a
Yeah, or no, actually, I think it was week 6. So yeah, his first game back was Detroit,
yeah.
and he had a hell of a game. So hopefully that happens again.
Because they want him to come back and stay, not
Yeah.
play the first game like he did against the Vikings, get out after what, 20 something plays.
Mhm.
And then, damn it, we got to sit and wait. So it's completely understandable, but damn it, come on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I know it's frustrating, and I know a lot of Bucks fans out there are frustrated. But strain calves are something you just can't mess with. It's usually it's about 4 to 6 week injury. It just depends on the severity, and it takes time to really relax that muscle and make sure you don't strain it again, because it could lead to severe problems. You could have tears, you could have it could hurt your Achilles. All those things are factors. So you got to play it safe. You can't rush it. And once Kalijah is back, hopefully he's a dominant force and this never happens again. He's already had an experience to both legs. So hopefully this is the end of that, run, kind of similar to Gerald McCoy in his first 2 seasons as a Buccaneer, where he tore his biceps, and it was unfortunate for him. But after that, all pro defensive tackle. So we'll definitely take that if it reoccurs.
I mean, look at what's going on in San Francisco right now with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Both legs,
Mhm.
Achilles tendonitis,
Yeah.
and their biggest fear is, oh damn, yeah,
Mhm.
literally right as I said it.
Yeah.
And it's both legs, and they're fearful of one push off. Oops,
Yep.
there it goes,
Yep.
and it sucks, but it's something you got to monitor, especially with a high money guy, and especially with Cansey. He's a younger guy. You don't want to end it early. His get off is the biggest thing. Christian
Right.
McCaffrey, the tendonitis stuff, that's probably because he's been playing years and years on injury. They never literally let him rest it. So they're milking their baby right now because he's one hell of a player. But I mean, yeah, let's rest him. We're winning, but we're going to need him for this long haul because this next 6 games it's going to be wild. Wild ride,
Mhm.
guys.
Mhm.
Oh, and also, since I have the time, if you're on the channel right now, you want to support the channel, go ahead, take a sneak peek over here at MJ Sheds. Mention Real Bucks Talk. We can give you probably a little percentage off. But check this out. This is my day job. So you are supporting the channel if you buy a shed through my website. Just let me know. Contact me. Send us an email. Do whatever you want. Get that good stuff going, and we'll continue talking here Buccaneer football.
Yes, absolutely, guys. If you're looking for extra storage or just a shed to do work from, or however, whatever you're looking for in the market, Mark, I know from firsthand, he does really quality work. These are high end sheds, very nice and well made. So, yeah, definitely check that out if you're looking for something like that. It'd be awesome, and obviously help support the channel in a very huge way. So, yeah, thank you to everyone here in the chat. Remember, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Comment your thoughts. Mark Andrew, we appreciate you, my man, because yeah, I mean, Tom Brady coming over to the Bucs, and yeah, we actually started this channel right when he signed. So it was an awesome day for us, awesome time. That whole month was pretty cool. Obviously, the channel has grown a bit and it's evolved, and we're always looking for new ways to do that. So yeah, we can't say enough about you guys because this is why we do it. This is why we do it. So a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
there's a lot of guys in the chat that've been here for the whole ride.
Yeah.
G Vega's been here since like the beginning, I think.
Yeah. G Vegas, I think, was here for, man, the podcast days when we were just audio. So yeah, much love to everyone that has been here since day one, especially when we were just audio version.
Right? Things have changed.
Things have changed for sure. And yeah, man, it was a little bit more uncensored on the audio version. We dial it back just for YouTube purposes. I don't know, maybe one day we'll get back to like the uncut, uncensored, raw, just, let everyone have it. But we're a good team now, so we have to, we gotta be professional here as we move along. But yeah, back in those days with Jameis Winston and Dirk Cutter, and
had to.
oh man, that was a wild ride. Wild ride for sure.
Briefly, you didn't look up the Bucs back then. It was rough.
Yeah, it was rough. We were playing what was the song, Mark? It was every like Vince McMahon thing we could find, or it was it's gonna change, or it's time for a change.
And it's time for a change. Like every other game would be that.
Oh man. But yeah, let's get back to this game here. Just want to go over the numbers real quick, and we'll wrap it up here shortly as we're getting close to an hour. But yeah, just a lot of good things. We haven't talked about this guy, Sterling Shepard. How about that? I mean, stepping up, playing with energy, making plays above his head, and just providing another outlet for Baker Mayfield. I thought was great to see.
Oh, he was like they were saying that he was so hyped up in the huddle too, like getting. He's like, hell yeah, did you see that? Even you see him after his big catch, like talking on the sideline, like he still wants it. He still got the fire. Even Baker says he's got a few screws loose in his head. It don't matter. He like how deep that wide receiver room is behind Evans and Godwin. I mean, I thought Trey Palmer was playing phenomenal before the concussion. McMillan is a rising star, potentially kind of like a Chris Godwin mold. Yeah. And then Cameron Johnson, he didn't make the catch in the end zone.
Yeah,
but the few plays, right? But the few plays I saw on his breaks, like
he's open.
Quick.
Yeah.
Like, and that's only another guy that the more reps he gets, the better he's going to get. I can't believe he dropped it. But I mean,
you love to see this. Obviously, that's deserved. 14 targets for Mike Evans. That means he's getting involved. 8 receptions. That's really good. And then obviously Chris Godwin, getting targeted. Kate Otten. So really just spreading the wealth, I think is important. I think that's important for Baker Mayfield because it keeps him locked in and attacking the middle of the field. That's something we didn't do, I don't think, well enough the first 3 games. And obviously that's been a weakness for Baker, especially last year. He wasn't that good at it. So ability to open up the middle of the field, I think is great to see for this offense. And I agree with Mark Andrew. We definitely need a beer for sure. I need one because it's been hectic at my day job. But it's also, I enjoy it, but it's just been crazy. Especially with the storm and everything, storm restoration. It's just been tough, but that's what we have to deal with living in Florida. We got to deal with these hurricanes, and hopefully these others stay away from us.
When is the end of hurricane season? Is it November?
It never ends. It never ends here in Florida. It never ends.
Fight for November, I guess.
Yep. So
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, it's been tricky over here.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that messes with my day job too, so it's annoying. But
Yeah.
hey, the biggest thing is making sure people are safe.
Yes,
The
yes,
floods are
absolutely.
disgusting around here. Power's out. Like
Yeah.
some places still don't have it, so it's
Right.
tough.
Right. Yep. Yep. Hope you all are staying safe out there. Hopefully, if you have family, up north, especially Asheville, that's just, and I couldn't imagine they're just, underwater. That's tough. So, yeah. Where was I going to go to next? But I think
Well,
we pretty much covered. Yeah,
yeah,
Devin White.
I had
Yeah,
left.
yeah. That whole thing about Devin White with the retweet, he retweeting
Yeah,
Levante David's sack, and I mean, I get it. They're close. They're still close to this day, but you don't do that on like when you're playing the actual game.
right.
you
During
know?
the season.
Yeah, yeah. So not a good look. And obviously he was inactive for personal reasons. So obviously something's going on there. I hope everything's okay for him personally, because I don't have anything bad against him from a personal standpoint. He just wasn't a good football player, and he's still not a good football player.
We
I
tried.
didn't. I mean, if you listen to this podcast from audio version, we told you don't don't draft him, don't
Especially
pick
top
him.
five.
Yeah, don't do it. But they did it. That's the one Jason Light mistake.
No,
That and Logan Hall,
there you go.
that and Logan Hall. We said don't do it. Like, what are you guys doing? Should have picked Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen. He would be a sack master for this team right now. But again, that's in the past. And Devin had his good run in the 2020 season, but just he was not a linebacker, and he's still not, like, and that's what teams are looking from him, and they're just not getting the production that they're looking for, or it's just not clicking from a mental side where he's not picking it up. So yeah, it's tough to see, but you know that's how it goes in the NFL. It's not for long, and if you start going downhill, usually that means the end of time for you as a football player.
And he's getting paid a lot to sit on the bench right now. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but the eye in the sky don't lie. I mean, we saw it in college. It's kind of. I know everyone thinks that they're going to make this magic jump because the coaching just gets so much better. Yeah,
Right.
the coaching's better, but they still expect you to do certain things, and there's
Mhm.
only so much they can coach out of you. You have a lot of tendencies in college. It's like
Mhm.
just head scratching plays that many times.
Yeah.
I'm weary of taking that player. But yeah, same thing was what I was saying with Logan Hall. Our defense was made to stop the run. He was terrible at stopping the run at Houston. He's better, but he's still not good. Um, he's got one good swim move. But hey, I'm not. I'm. Let's see. He's still young. Still has time.
Yeah.
Let's see. And thank you very, very much, Eric Moreno. He went to the game.
Yep.
How hot as hell was that?
It looked like it was hot. I mean, I was outside yesterday and it was scorching. So,
Right.
yeah, it was a hot one. But yeah, I appreciate it, Eric. Thank you for all the support you provide. We always see you there on Twitter, always being positive. So that is much appreciated and always notice as well. Yeah, Devin White as a pass rusher. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he struggles to get off blocks. Like, unless he's free runner, it's a struggle for him. So yeah, I just don't see him. Yeah, never sweated more in my life.
I know.
And yeah, we can't forget about these blunders. Yeah, hopefully Camarda, that's another topic. Hopefully he gets it going. Yeah, it sucks. He wasn't in the game yesterday. I think he might have made that tackle if he was in the game on the return block. But you know,
Yeah, that is Kamara is a big question mark, but I mean, it's still he was a fourth
yeah.
round pick. It's not like it was a top pick.
Right, right. Yeah,
And Goliath,
Guayo was a second
second,
round pick. Yeah.
yes, he learned his lesson though. I mean, that was like in the beginning years where he was still learning. Like
Mm.
his first free agency was trash.
Oh
Uh,
god,
Michael
so bad.
Johnson, what was the Collins, the right tackle? Trash.
Mm.
Talk about learning on the go. And a lot of that I think was him just because Lovey wanted certain guys. And then he realized, holy crap, this is my
Mm.
job on the line too. I need to make my decisions. and the coaches just need to coach with the guys that I bring in. Then that marriage comes. I think that's where he's even said it. It's only been over the past like 3 to 5 years they've really found the guy that they want. So hopefully no more Aguayo blunders moving forward. But I mean, we got a pretty deep team right now to be honest, and it's a very homegrown team too.
Yeah, I think, maybe it was just, I think Camarda maybe just needs a little bit of rest. I think he was getting too much into his head a little bit. So hopefully,
Too much.
Yeah, that could be, definitely could be. But yeah, maybe he gets active for this week against Atlanta, has a bounce back game. He was still out kicking the guy who was in yesterday. I think he averaged, I think like 37 and a half yards. Camarda was averaging 45. So, but again, it depends on what you want from your kicker. Maybe Camarda wasn't just executing what they were asking him to do. It seemed like this guy yesterday, Gill, he was having more airtime, and our coverage team was at least in place on a lot of those punts. So maybe that's what they're expecting.
Well, I mean, we look at the games that he had space to punt. Our offense was looking well in this game, so there's shorter fields he had to punt.
Right,
so
right.
I think 2 of them were inside the 20. So
yeah,
that's what you want. The averages sometimes can be misleading, especially if you're punting from like your own 50. How much do you want him to punt, right?
Yeah. So, no, you're absolutely right. I'm trying to see if they. Yeah. So here's his stats right here. So yeah, he had one inside the 20, 42 long. But again, 4 punts on the day, and like you said, where were we on the field when he made those kicks? So yeah, it'll be interesting, especially Trey Palmer. We probably won't have this week. It'll be interesting to see how that return, the return teams get sorted out. If it's going to be Cameron Johnson back there as a punt returner, which I don't mind. I like his ability, there. So that'll be intriguing. But overall, a great win, guys. Buccaneers are now 3-1, and it's going to be an awesome game this week. It's kind of fun that we have a game so quickly. That's pretty cool. That even though it stinks from the player's standpoint, but it's cool that we get to see our favorite team play again in such a short notice. So that'll be yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, appreciate this time, appreciate these games because they go so quickly.
Yeah, and then we get the mini bye, but it's still humming, guys, because it's another divisional foe. But I'm excited, and you get your weekend this week.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So
I think we are.
That game hopefully ends in a good way, so we have a hell of a good weekend.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Hopefully, I can. Yeah, we all need some rest. I'm tired. You probably heard it in the podcast tonight, guys. I'm just like I'm trying to be excited, but also trying to be informative. So hopefully it wasn't terrible tonight. But yeah, I mean, just really liking where this team is heading. Hopefully we can get healthy enough for this game on Thursday. The injury report still very long, but hopefully these guys can rest up and be ready for a great game on Thursday.
Yeah, let's take that division, right?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So I think it's going to close it for us tonight. Be sure to hit that like button. Appreciate all the support you guys give us. Everyone in the chat, thank you for showing up. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. Be sure to check us out on the channel. We're going to try to get back to regular programming here as we move through. Just a lot of things have happened, outside of just not work, but just personal life and stuff like that. Always a grind. So we're going to try to get more content at you guys, and hopefully we can get some more film, because I know that's why a lot of you guys are here. So it doesn't go unnoticed. But with that said, everyone have a great week. Go Bucs. Be safe out there, and we'll see you on the next time. Go Bucs.
Let's go Bucs to get a win.